Are you a natural girl seeking a more manageable option for your hair? Or are you dealing with dry, thin, relaxed hair? If that's the case, you might want to consider Texlaxing. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys a full explanation on what it means to be Texlaxed, and I'm going to be giving you guys the 4 methods of Texlaxing to achieve a full yet manageable look for your hair. What's up everybody, Alexis Kimberly here. Welcome back to my channel. For the best hair, makeup, and beauty tips, definitely make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a video every single Sunday. So if you're here, it probably means that you've been thinking about Texlaxing, you're frustrated with your hair, you're dealing with relaxed hair that's thin and brittle, or you could be natural and you're just seeking a more manageable option for your hair. I remember being natural and spending hours and hours and hours and hours on my hair, and that can be super frustrating. So what is Texlaxing anyway? Texlaxing is a chemical process using a chemical called sodium hydroxide to break the protein bonds in the hair to loosen the hair's natural curl pattern. Well, wait a minute, Alexis, that sounds like a relaxer. And you're right, it is a relaxer. Texlaxing is relaxing. It's the same chemical process. However, the difference between Texlaxing and relaxing is the fact that you are purposely under-processing the hair when you Texlax. And the reason why you would want to under-process your hair is because of the benefits of not damaging the hair to the same extent as a relaxer, but also because with a relaxer, your hair becomes much more manageable. It loosens the curl pattern, although it doesn't loosen it to the extent of a relaxer. It does loosen the curl pattern, so you get the benefit of what relaxers provide, but you have the benefit of having a thicker, fuller look, the look that you get more so with natural hair. So it kind of combines the best of both worlds. Question for you guys: how many of you guys out there are Texlaxed, and what has been your experience? And if you're not Texlaxed, have you considered Texlaxing before? And if so, what are your reservations about it? Now, how do you Texlax? The first method that I personally use and recommend is just shortening the processing time. So shortening the amount of time that the relaxer actually sits on your hair. I like this method because I think that it gives you the best results and the most control over the results of your relaxer. I personally leave my relaxer on for 12 minutes before I rinse. And by timing myself and knowing my relaxer time, I'm able to ensure that every relaxer that I get the same texture every time. But I will say that it is more difficult when you're Texlaxing to get the same texture every service, because instead of the relaxer where your goal is to obtain straight hair, with Texlaxing, you can have many different variations of textures. And if you're not consistent with the amount of time that you let the relaxer sit on your hair, and if you're not consistent with your appointments, meaning that you have approximately the same amount of new growth every time you go in, that getting that consistent texture can sometimes be difficult. Now, some of you may or may not know, but I've been Texlaxed for 3 years now, but it was not a cakewalk getting here. I experienced many hair tragedies along the way, and if you haven't checked out my hair video, which I will link up here in the cards, I don't know if it's going to be on my left or right side, but I will link it up above, linking to my hair journey so that you guys can see just the path that I went through to get to healthy hair now. So definitely check out that video to give you guys some context on where I've been in terms of my hair journey and how I got to Texlaxed hair. The second method to Texlaxing is adding oils or conditioner to the relaxer mix to dilute the relaxer itself. So by diluting the relaxer, it slows the processing of the relaxer chemical because there's other ingredients in the mix itself. I just recommend that you really monitor the hair as it's processing, because if there's any inconsistency in that relaxer mix that you've now added oils or conditioner to, if there's any inconsistency with the lost my train of thought. If there's any inconsistency with the mix itself, meaning the oils are not evenly distributed through the relaxer mix, you may end up having patches of hair on your head that are being processed at faster or slower rates. So I would just be mindful of that, but that is an option. The third method for Texlaxing is adding oil to the hair strands themselves prior to putting the relaxer on your hair. And so the oil acts as a barrier between your hair and the relaxer, slowing the relaxer process. Again, I don't really care for this method, though it is an option, because unless you can ensure that you are evenly coating your hair with that oil, you may get inconsistent results with the relaxer. The relaxer may process stronger on an area of your hair where you added less oil as opposed to, an area where you added more. So just be mindful of that. And with the second and third method, whether you're putting oil or conditioner in the relaxer mix itself or you're adding oil to your hair strands, you may still want to consider shortening the relaxer processing time. Just adding oils or conditioner may not do the job. So again, you just have to monitor the results of your hair, which is why I really recommend that you get this professionally done. The fourth method is going to the store and buying a product that is branded Texturizer. Now, don't be fooled here. It's the same chemical as a relaxer. It may be a lesser strength relaxer, but it's still a relaxer using the same chemicals. Really the only difference is that in something called a texturizer, they will sometimes add different ingredients, oils or butters or things of that sort, to kind of do exactly what I mentioned in the last two methods, which is just sort of diluting the relaxer. But a texturizer is a relaxer. It's just of lesser strength. So you can opt for that option too if you don't want to do kind of like a DIY version of that, but you could also buy a branded texturizer. But I just want you guys to know that, don't be misled by, companies marketing it as something that's other than a relaxer, because it is a relaxer. So those are the 4 most popular methods to achieving Texlaxed hair. You can either shorten the relaxer time, processing time. You can add conditioner or oils to the relaxer mix itself to dilute the strength of the relaxer. You can add oils to your hair strands to form a barrier between the relaxer and your hair, or you can opt for a market product called Texturizer, but just know, guys, that that's still a relaxer. If you'd like to know specifically how I process my hair to achieve Texlaxed results, definitely leave a comment down below letting me know that that's something that you want to hear. And I'll definitely create a video on it for you guys. I know that sometimes it's easier to just see an example of somebody who's done it or somebody who's doing it before you kind of take the plunge yourself. So listen, I get it, but just let me know so that I know that that's something that you're looking for. And if you liked this video, definitely give this video a thumbs up. That's how I know that you guys are liking the content, and it just gives me an understanding of what kind of content to put out there for you guys. And of course, subscribe, join the fam, and hit that notification bell so that you know every time I post a video every Sunday. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.